today I'm just going to go ahead and jump into it, basically answering a bit of a burning question I've had for a long time, and it has to do with, is there gold? Is there gold in the float? It's basically sitting on top of the ground up here. And over the last probably 10 years, I've been, okay, we got Nervous Rider in the house. Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and add you as a moderator. Welcome, welcome. Fantastic. Thank you so much. I'll definitely try. Thank you. So thanks for tuning in. So yeah, today we are answering a very important and burning question. Is there gold that's in the float that's sitting on top of the ground here? Because we have lots of quartz, which is what we refer to as float. Okay, clear audio and picture on the end. Wonderful, fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you. And yeah, I appreciate you being in today. Now, the other thing that gives me pause for concern around this little area here is there's not just, there's not just little isolated spots with this float. It's basically everywhere. But this particular spot over here that's on the ground, there is quite a lot of it that's concentrated in one area. Now, just a bit of background. I have over the years detected in and around this spot, and it has kind of been hit or miss. I've never actually found a nugget on this spot. But what gives me pause for concern is there is so much float down here, and it's actually coming up from a very big hill that's on other property that's adjacent to me. So what I'm thinking, what might actually be happening is historically, after a big flood, everything's just kind of washing down here. And if it's washing down into tributaries and things like that, hey, 95 Sporty One, how you going? Welcome to the channel. I really appreciate you being here. And guys, as you come in today, if you wouldn't mind, just hit that subscribe button and hit the like button, and put on all notifications as well, because I'm noticing a lot of people aren't tuning back in because they might not have the bell clicked. So make sure you do that. But thanks for showing up today. And not only that, but we've got this other shale type stuff here as well. I don't know if you can see all this, but it's just littered all over the place here. But what I want to do is I want to come in today and just take some samples. This is what we do as prospectors. We sample the ground and we make sure that we can find the best sort of spots. Now, I've never done this before because I've tried to rely on a detector to detect these spots. And historically, what I actually find is that all that I'm picking up with a detector is basically just like nails, sometimes like shoe nails, things like that. Things of what the old timers have actually left behind. But what I want to do today is I want to take my pick here and I want to scratch the top of this ground, and I want to take a whole bunch of samples. I'm going to be sampling what's just coming off the ground with the float. Because what I would like to know is, since I'm not finding any nuggets or any coarse gold, I want to see how far up on this little bed here there's actually going to be fine gold. And if we can find fine gold, underneath that's going to be coarser and coarser gold. But it'll also give me a clearer picture historically what's happening in this area as far as how gold is traveling down into this creek and where it might be coming from if there are multiple sources. So that's what we're going to check on today, and I'm going to go ahead and get started. Take off my backpack, and let's go ahead and take a scratch, and we're going to fill this pan, and we're going to see if we get anything coming out of the gold. Now, I forgot to thoroughly clean this pan, but we're going to go ahead and just scrape all that out with my hands, and just make sure there's nothing contaminating the pan, possibly can. All right, over here, we've got some pretty clean pans in that way. Hey, old grumpy guy, welcome. Oh no, that's all good, man. Not a problem. I've been off for a few days because I've not been feeling well myself. But welcome, and I do appreciate you all being here. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to take a scratch just off the top here, and we're going to see what comes out of the float. So stick around. And just quickly before I get started, I have a piece of equipment that's coming tomorrow possibly, that is going to give me a microphone built in so I can actually speak to you guys when being away from the camera. We have Chirping Homestead. What country is this? I'm in Australia, Chirping. What country are you in? I think you might be from America. That's pretty cool. All right, guys, stick around. We're gonna scratch the top of this ground and get it in here. Let's see what we get. Now, before I keep saying this, before I actually get going, I just want to show you guys what the actual ground looks like. And you might later on be wanting to look in your area if you have what's called float that sits on top of your of the ground here. All this quartz here, all this stuff is suspect for gold, but I've never found any coarse stuff with a detector. But today, it's time to use the best detector known to man, which is your gold pan. So, Mark Robinson, hey, how you going? Awesome. Easy. Dude, your accent is non-existent. That's pretty dope. That's pretty cool. We got Mark Robinson. We got some awesome people here today. Thank you for the likes, guys. And be sure, as you come in, guys, hit that subscribe button and turn on all the notifications, because I do notice that sometimes I'll put out a video and no one actually can see that because you haven't enabled the notifications. So let's make sure we do that today so nobody misses a video, and I don't miss out on what you guys are doing either. So I like to learn from you guys as well. But yeah, thank you. But this quartz does look pretty cool. Some of the stuff has a lot of iron oxide and that kind of stuff mixed in with it, so it's pretty decent stuff. And there's just a whole bunch of different types as well. Gold minerals, quartz, yep, absolutely. Thank you so much, Nervous Rider. Thank you. And guys, if you haven't already, subscribe to Nervous Rider. She's got an excellent channel, actually just right near to where she actually works with the horses. So thank you. Helen Farish, hey, from Canada. Mark Robinson, thank you guys so much. Back in the day, excellent. Thank you, guys. 57 people, 7 likes. Can I get those likes just a little bit higher, guys? All you got to do is double tap the screen. And it's totally free, and it definitely helps me out. Thank you so much. All right. But we can see what I'm talking about. This is float. This is stuff that is just basically natively sitting in the ground, just on top of where another source is. It's actually way further up on another property. So what I want to know is, the burning question that I have is there fine gold sitting in this float? And I've been thinking about this for a long time. If you guys have been following along on this channel, you have heard me talk about this periodically from time to time, but now it is do or die day, and I'm very, very excited to try and get started. Okay, Queensland, no, but I'm definitely in Australia, but I won't say where. So I appreciate the question, Mark, but I will not give away my state or anything else. So, but thank you. Okay, thank you so much. Very cool. All right, let's go ahead and flip this around and let's get started. So the way I want to sample this too is I want to kind of be methodical and deliberate. I don't want to just dig anywhere. So what I'm going to do at the epicenter here, where we're getting all this basic, you know, where most of the float is sitting, which is probably actually here, I want to get an area of about probably maybe 3 square feet or 4 square feet. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to basically draw me a little line, just like this. You guys might not be able to see that, but I'm just drawing a little line at the epicenter where all this float's sitting, so I can keep track of what I'm getting in each successive step. And I'm not confusing myself. Okay, we got Dave. Bodium, very cool. 86 people. I'm in Ohio, where everyone is from. Very cool. Awesome, guys. But you can see what I'm doing. And basically, I want a square about that big, about, 4 feet in rectangular diameter. I didn't go very far in school. All right, guys, thank you so much. But we're gonna go ahead and scratch it just off the top. I want to scratch this stuff because we have horses that have to come through here, and they have to be able to not get hurt whenever they do come through here. So I'm going to be very careful and very deliberate how I'm digging it. I'm scraping just off the top, and I want to see if there's any fine gold in and amongst this float. The ground itself, the actual dirt, doesn't look very promising, because you know what they say, the redder the better. It's not particularly red, but what I'm interested in is if possibly down from the source of where this stuff is coming from, it might have just trickled down here, and not a lot of the oxides might have come. It might have just simply be that it's just the float stuff, and there might be some chunky stuff in here. I don't know. Square feet, that's right. Thank you, Mark. I am totally lost today, but I do appreciate you pulling me up on that. And I do need that from time to time, guys. Sometimes I might sound like I know everything on this channel, but I really don't, and I really need your help. I need everyone to chime in and tell me if I'm doing something wrong, because I will listen and I will correct myself if it's something that isn't completely crazy. So, all right. So 4 square foot of this material. I want to get that into the pan. The redder the better, that's what they say. Now, sometimes with that too, it's not always the case. I've dug in completely gray looking clay and stuff, and I found some of the best gold of my life. And in contrast, I've dug some very red looking material, and it's just been nothing, maybe like a tiny speck in amongst it, and sometimes nothing. So you can't always rely on what they say. This is why we have to test and test and test against what conventions are, and this is how we're able to improve and get a lot further with what we do. But you're absolutely right. Square meters in metric. Dig up. Hang on. Dig up. We got a Kaboo that says dig up all them hidey holes. Let's go. Let's go. I can't say that though, because somebody else has said that. Somebody else has coined that wonderful term, and I know who it is. And that is Ask Jeff Williams. He has an amazing channel. I've learned a lot from Jeff, and I think he's an excellent resource. So guys, if you haven't already, find Ask Jeff Williams channel. He's excellent at what he does. He's a geologist, and I am not worthy. So thank you. Thank you guys. Okay, shout out to him. Yes. All right, shout out to Ask Jeff Williams. He's the man. All right, guys. So I've taken probably about maybe like a ½ inch off the top. Maybe not even that. I may go slightly lower. Because the gold is so heavy, it's 19 point something times heavier than water. It might have actually just had the opportunity to sink just a little bit into that clay. So I want to make sure I'm not leaving no stone unturned, but at the same time, I don't want to be making a giant crater here, because like I said, horses have to be walking through here, running through here. I simply want to see what's coming down from the top of this ground where the float is sitting, and find out, number one, is there any fine gold in here? Is there anything sitting in here? There could be garnets, there could be anything. Okay, Australia Joe, very cool. Diamonds too, Dave? I hope so. If there were diamonds in this, I would be a very happy man. But I'm happy anyway, just being out here talking to you guys, and just everyone getting along, and we're having a wonderful day. It's a beautiful breezy day. So Peekaboo says, I like digging up hidey holes too. You never know what treasures you might find until you dive deep in. You're absolutely right. And you know what? That's a fantastic attitude to have. Because when you have that kind of a mindset, you cannot get discouraged very easily. Okay. All right, everybody. Let's get down to the creek and let's do our first pan. I want to thank you all so much for being here. And if you haven't already, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn on all notifications, because sometimes when I'm watching a live stream, I will see some cool stuff. But I forget to subscribe and I never can find them again. So let's make sure we do that, guys. Okay, all right. Thank you all. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. Okay, now look at this beautiful water. Nice and clear. And oh, thank you so much, thank you. How long have I been growing my hair? It's been quite a long time. It's been probably about 10 years, so I'm afraid to cut it now, so I'll never cut it again. So yeah, thanks for the question. Okay, now, as we can see too, going up to where I was just digging, we can see case in point here. There's actually float that's coming right down the hillside. We're getting quartz that has just natively been displaced here from some ancient vein a long time ago. But what I'm really wanting to know is how far has it gotten down the bank? And if there is any residual stuff sitting up here that might be too heavy, is that sitting where we've dug? And if it is, how can I safely get to it? Okay, all right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm actually, you know what I'm actually gonna do? I'm actually gonna have to go and get my my tripod. Lots of mercury used in Ghana. Be safe. Yes, Ghana is historically known for using lots of mercury, and it can be a very, very difficult and deadly thing to work with. So you want to be very careful of that. Okay, 200 people in the room, 17 likes. Can we get some more likes, people, please? That would be fantastic. If you can double tap your screen for me, that would be fantastic. That really helps me out and helps me be able to keep doing what I'm doing. All right. All right, so cool. Yeah, and a lot of claims have been stolen. That's right. Okay, guys, gonna flip this around. And feel free to talk in and amongst yourselves too while I work, because sometimes I'm not able to actually read all the comments, but I will try and get back to everybody. Okay, shout out to the short hair, long beard gang too. That's right, that's right. Okay, like it up, fools. Thank you so much, Johnny Chops Drums. Hey, that looks like a cool channel. All right, people. So, I'm gonna put y'all in the water. Y'all wanna go in the water? You wanna go for a swim? Y'all can go for a bit of swim. Thank you guys so much, and we'll go ahead and start our first pan. Alrighty. Hey, this is cool. I can actually talk to you guys while I'm doing this. We got somebody from Boston, Mike Curtis. Very cool. You'd like to go for a swim. I think we all would. I know you guys in America are doing it tough right now because I hear the temperatures are soaring. It's pretty wild. Okay, guys. So now that we're doing our pan, just remember, you want to make sure, because there's a lot of clay in here, you want to make sure you're just getting it to where it's nice and ground up, allowing to liberate the gold from anything that might be trapping it. And with this pan, I want to be looking at what's coming out of here too. Lots of different varying types of stones. I don't know all the terminology for these particular ones. I do know what quartz looks like. I do know what ironstone looks like, and some magnetite and stuff like that. But again, Ask Jeff Williams is a great resource to have. So head on over to his channel and subscribe. Okay. All right, so we have Mike Curtin. Hello from Boston. Okay, you'd like to go for a swim. Old Grumpy Guy, it was nice in Ohio today. Lower 70s and humidity, fantastic. What about Stone Cold Steve Austin Stones? Because Stone Cold said so. Yeah. All right. Can I get a heck yeah? Alrighty, guys. So again, just going to be taking a peek at what comes out of here, because this is not only for you guys, it's also for my reference when I go back and look at the live stream. I want to see what kind of quartz is coming out of here, because it helps me form a picture overall how much quartz is in the pan. Number one, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and I think 13 pieces of quartz in that pan. So why is that important? Well, overall, if I'm taking a pan it's out of an area and I'm getting a whole bunch of quartz in it, it might be telling me there might be something interesting in there. And the type of quartz as well, we're looking at stuff with a bit of host rock attached to it. There could be specimens in this. There could be anything. But I gotta go back and check. Okay, so now, let's quickly read some comments. I'm playing the lottery. Hey, that's pretty cool. Sometimes it's a bit difficult to see the actual screen, guys, but I'm trying my absolute best. All right, bottom line, because Stone Cold said so. That's right. All right, guys. Now, again, if you're familiar with panning, you'll know what to do, but I'm gonna try and walk you guys through it as we go. Whenever you gold pan, you wanna make sure what I'm doing here is basically called liquefaction. So you basically, all these really thick clays that might be holding gold, I can't promise that there's gonna be gold in this pan, but everything that might be holding gold can fall down to the bottom. All the gold can fall down to the bottom, and on a molecular level, the molecules of clay can be broken up and liberate gold particles, very, very fine, subfine stuff to nuggety type stuff. So liquefaction is what I'm doing right now. Make sure your pan is under the water, just like that. Okay, gonna twist it up, 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 just like that. Okay, and give it a little shake from time to time. Okay, now what we're going to do is basically a process called stratification. So stratifying basically means that anything that is heavier than the lighter material, they basically do this exchange. So the heavy stuff goes to the bottom, the light stuff rises to the top. And this is how we're able to begin the process of panning. We're agitating the pan just like this. I might be a little bit too close for you guys, I'm so sorry. Pull back just here. And agitate, 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 just like that. Tilt the pan, and now we're going to eject the material, so we're going to classify now. Little dips off the top, just like so. And then we're going to repeat the process. Now that the pan is so small, we can actually start working with one hand. Thank you guys for being here. You're all being incredible. We might actually have my sister jump into the chat today. My sister has been diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer, and she is currently undergoing chemo, and she might actually put a GoFundMe link in the description, but if you guys wouldn't mind just talking to her, and she's a really nice person, and her name's Ashley. So thank you all guys so very much. Let's see if we can try and give her a little bit of support today. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to inject some material, just the light stuff off the top there. And it's very, you know what, when I started doing these live streams, it was really difficult talking and doing things at the same time. I think I'm getting a little bit better at that, but I'm just not entirely sure. But if you guys can just let me know how I'm going, I will appreciate that, and I really do appreciate the feedback. So, okay, a bit of a tap here. And as I said, you know, like, the other thing about this channel is there are a lot of fake gold channels out there. And unfortunately, there are people who will try to sneak gold in their pan, and, you know, you see these dumb videos that have 3 million views and 3 million subscribers, and all they do is they paint rocks gold and they stick it in a creek and they dig it up. This is not one of those channels. So whatever I find, and you will see. And whatever I don't find, you guys will see as well. I am not trying to hide anything, and I'm definitely not trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. This is a very real channel, and it's my quest to try and help you guys find gold, and you guys can help me too by commenting and talking in and amongst each other, because I do go back and I read the entire chat from top to bottom every time the chat ends. So I know who's been naughty and who's been nice. So let's try and be very supportive of everyone. Okay, so we're going to do this reveal, and I'm going to have a look. And what this is going to tell me is what kind of heavies are in the pan, if there is gold, if there is not, and if there isn't gold, which it actually looks like there isn't, it can then inspire me to keep going. It's all about the, no, there is gold. Okay, no, there actually is. I'm going to turn the camera around. It's not very much, but there is certainly gold in this pan, and I really was not expecting that. So let me just quickly turn this around. Okay, and the gold, I'm actually kind of dumbfounded right now. The gold is actually literally sitting right here. I'm going to try and pinch zoom in so you guys can see that, but bear with me because it's very difficult to kind of make that out sometimes. But there is certainly gold in that pan, and it's fine gold. Can we see that? So this answers my question. Is there gold in the float that's sitting on top of that hill? Yes, indeed. There actually, absolutely, I can't speak. There definitely is. So what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick this up with my finger, which is something nobody should ever do with gold. But I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to try to zoom in with the camera so you guys can see what this actually looks like up close and personal. That is a little piece of gold, and I really was not expecting that. Okay, somebody says, Peekaboo says, you said some of the spray rocks gold. I do, okay. Say a prayer for, thank you so much, Dave. I appreciate that. Old Grumpy Guy, a pan's floating away from me. But I'm shocked. Out of that sample that we took, not much material sitting in that float, we have gold sitting up on top of the bank. And it's not only just on the bank, it's actually sitting, can we actually zoom in there? Hang on. So basically, that is pretty much there in the middle of that little spot up here. Let's walk back up there. The little bit of gold that we found. And this is important because I need to see the angular, how angular this gold is. It actually looks kind of angular. It's sort of sharp, it's not water worn. What that tells me is that's come directly off, has come directly off whatever deposit of float is sitting right where I've just dug. So this little piece of gold, if that'll focus, has just come out of that digging. And look, what this does is it actually confirms things for me, and it helps me to realize and understand that I wasn't crazy all these years of actually thinking there was gold sitting in this float, but it makes sense. It's coming off of a deposit way, way up on a hill that I can't show because it's on a connecting hill that's on a neighbor's actual hill. So I can't actually show where all this stuff is coming from. But I am very excited right now. All these little white specks on the ground, that is all what we call float, and it is very much here. So I don't know what to think right now, but I'm very excited. I'm kind of beside myself just to find this little speck, and there is also more in the pan as well. So, what do you guys think I should do? Nervous Rider, I'd like to ask you first and foremost, what do you think I should do about this? It's pretty exciting to me to have found that just sitting on the top of on the land. I could simply just keep scraping in these little areas where this float's sitting, and I could see what's happening. I don't think it's going to do too much good in actually detecting this stuff, because if we're getting fine gold like this, I might just be better to take samples. But that is a nice little piece of gold. Horton Speck, we have Angel Leon. Hey guys, welcome. Dig up my horse paddock, anywhere else is fair game. No, don't dig up my horse paddock. Anywhere else is fair game. Okay, well, I will certainly take that I will take that to heart, and I will make sure that I do not dig up the horse paddock, but I am so excited. And you know what? The other thing is, all this quartz in here is actually suspect for gold as well. So this tells me if I'm getting this little piece out of here, there has to be more locked up in this quartz. It's only logical to think so. That's my hypothesis. Now let's have a look at what else we got in the pan. I'm going to go and stick this little part down back in the pan just there with my finger. Hopefully it's gotten into the pan. And I want to see, because there was another little tiny piece up here And where did it go? Let's go ahead and reveal this again. I'm going to go ahead and put it back down in there. And let's try and get a little bit closer to what we were actually looking at. Okay, they will tax you on that though. Have you gotten down to bedrock? CH, no, I actually haven't yet. But let me tell you, this is the very first time that I have actually found gold sitting up on top where previously it wasn't. Before, I couldn't actually see that because I was using a detector. And I just assumed that because I'm not getting any signals that say gold, that there must be no gold up there. But using a pan, which is the best gold detector ever, I've now found gold just sitting up on my property. So, okay, let me do another reveal. And let's see what the other two pieces actually looked like, because I'm curious now. I'm very curious. Okay, so there were a total of 2 pieces in that scrape. And I'm going to show them to you now. So there was the one that I had on my finger, and there's another one just sitting down there. It's a little bit hard to get to because there's a lot of sediment flowing around. But I'm going to try and pinch them in and point. There is another piece here. And there is the piece I think that I just picked up. Either one of these I've picked up. So there are a total of 2 specks in that pan. Why is this exciting for me? Oh no, there's actually 3. There's actually 3. There's another one here. The exciting thing is, and some people might be tuning into this channel and they might be thinking to themselves, oh, whatever, you found 3 specks of gold, whatever. The exciting thing is, okay, that the gold is not simply just in this creek like I've historically found it. It's actively coming down from this hillside up here. So that to me is pretty phenomenal. I don't know what to expect now. I have actually heard from people. I used to work at a place here in Australia, and I won't say the name of the company because the company is basically evil. But I used to work with a guy that, you know, basically he asked me, I'm a gold prospector, and this is way before I knew anything about gold. And he goes, I'm a gold prospector, you know, have you seen any places around here I can prospect? And I said, well, I've got a property, and, you know, and he stopped me there. He said, do you have any quartz sitting on the property? Do you have any, like, quartz stringers? And I'm like I know what quartz is, but I don't know what a stringer vein or anything like the stuff that he was talking about was. And I said, yeah, all those white rocks, yeah, I've got them sitting on top of the property. You know, they're just sitting there. And, like, you know, he perked right up and he was like, oh, can I come and prospect? And then for a moment I thought, well, there could be no harm in that, you know, like, why not? But then I just thought to myself, something said, look, if this dude finds gold here, I want to be having a chat to the boss, right? I want to be having a chat to the wife. And I did. I was like, you know, this guy wants to come and prospect, so cautionary tale. She had the good sense to say, no, that's a terrible idea, because if he finds gold on your property, he can put a claim on that, and then you've given him the authorization to come on your property. If he can actually get a claim, he can basically take all your gold. So it's never a good idea. Never a good idea. I don't think even if you trust the person to do that. So, cautionary tale. Anyway, let's get back to it. I need to get my snuffer bottle and get this sucked up into that. And we're going to take another little sample very carefully where we just dug. And I think probably adjacent to that as well. So let me go ahead and grab the snuffer bottle and we'll get back on it. But I hope you guys are having a great day. Let's try and read some comments. And I'm really actually beside myself at this stage. I didn't realize. I know there's gold in the creek. I know that, but I didn't realize it's just sitting there. So yeah, all right, pretty cool. All right, so CH, might be time to break out the excavator. Good idea. We got John Karemius. Why don't you use a strainer? I've got one down there. It's just it's a 1/4 inch thing. Okay, Orlando Zapien. Personal question, why do I need to get my gold stamped assayer? Ooh, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't even know what that is. Emil, what area do you go? I'm about to go traveling, go panning. Well, what I would suggest to you is, if you want to try and find gold, and if you're not sure that there's gold in an area, look for places like this. And I'm going to quickly show you, and then we're going to get back to doing this thing. you want to be looking in an area that has bedrock. So, fantastic question, Emil. And I'm going to turn the camera around. Be looking for places like this that have exposed bedrock. And ideally, what you want to be doing is getting into exposed bedrock that doesn't necessarily go this way with the creek, but you want it to go side to side, because that creates a natural riffle that you can actually dig up and you can excavate everything that's sitting on the bedrock, which is it's a natural gold trap. So best of luck to you, Emil. Thank you so much for the question. Thank you so much, Nervous Rider. Everyone, please hit the like button, yes, and subscribe, and hit the notifications too. Wow, those are gold traps, yes. And there is actually gold historically sitting on here. I have actually gotten quite a bit of gold off of here, but they've actually been prospected for the moment. They've actually been excavated, and I'm waiting for the next big flood to come through and pushing that gold through. So anyway, guys, let's go ahead and get back to what we were doing. I need to get a snuffer bottle. So follow me up the hill, and let's see if we can get that pulled in to the snuffer bottle. And I want to take another sample. This is so exciting. I had really no idea that this would transpire today, but it makes sense. If we have a look up here, all this float is just sitting here. That's not been put here. It goes all the way back, and we actually have some grasses growing up through here anyway. But this float underneath these grass, you just basically dig it up, dig it up, dig it up. It's everywhere. Little bits of quartz stuck in the ground everywhere, bits of shale. And so honestly, so do I use a lab detector? I have one. I have one CH, but the trouble is, and see, case in point, I've got nice big quartz sitting up here. And I've never done this. I don't know why I've never done this, but yeah. So the trouble with metal detectors, I'm going to talk about this for a little bit once I get this gold put into the snuffer bottle. The trouble with metal detectors, guys, is that metal detectors are fantastic, okay? They're so fantastic that what they do is they oftentimes blind us to the fact that our gold pans are the best metal detectors ever invented. Why is that? Because they don't require any power. You can find the tiniest gold with a gold pan because it operates off of gravity. And that's what makes a gold pan so special. And really, if you've got one, you can end up finding some serious gold even where you don't think there is any. So I'm going to go ahead and one-handedly, I'm going to try and get this gold pulled in. It's got it right sitting. You probably even can see it from there, but it's just sitting right up there now. So let's get those couple specks pulled in. And what I want to do is I want to get another sample. It's notoriously difficult to do this with one hand, so I appreciate everyone's patience and sticking around. Very difficult to do. But this is it's definitely a game changer for me today. Okay, what time is it over there? It's pretty late in the day. Okay, we have John Jack Stanton that says, please tell your sister to keep her spirits up. I was diagnosed with stage 4. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Non-small cell cancer that spread to my brain, 3 tumors 8 years later, and I'm still going strong. John, my hat goes off to you, my friend. That's just incredible, man. And I thank you for that, and I think that's gonna go a long way for her. I'm gonna let her know personally, and I'll just take a screenshot for that too. And just send that to her because I think that's gonna help her a hell of a lot. Thank you so much, John. Trick shot, I'm a new subscriber, fantastic. All right. Okay, so I have so many wonderful people in the room, many people supporting, and I just think that's fantastic, John. Thank you so much. Okay, so this pan is now clean. Let's get back up there, and I want to take a few more samples. Okay, same trick here in Ohio. Fantastic. All right, guys, let's keep at it. And all this stuff is still suspect for gold, but I got to find a place to put it. So what I might do, I'm going to put it by this log here. And let's get back up the hill. Clean that out really good. So I was totally prepared, guys, to have come up with an empty pan just then. And I would have been fine with that too. It doesn't matter. I want to be as transparent as possible on this channel. And sometimes it's difficult too. But, you know, you guys are the reason why I'm here. teaching you today, and you guys are teaching me as well. I'm getting lots of excellent information from everyone. Let's turn this thing around. Where's the... Ah, okay, there we go. Lots of awesome information from everybody. Everybody's been wonderful and supportive. And hopefully my sister can come into the chat today, which will be cool. Okay. Okay, North Carolina. Hey, that's cool. You're in North Carolina. I'm actually from North Carolina, funnily enough. So it's pretty cool. And North Carolina this time of year is very cool. Okay, trick shot, same time zone. All right, guys, I don't want to waste your time. There are a lot of people that's tuning in on this thing. They're like, stop running your mouth, just dig. All right, I get that. All right, here we go. So, now, I'm sorry, I apologize. I still have to run my mouth, but I'm gonna try and run it usefully. Okay, so, remember that little square that we did just earlier? That's probably a 4-foot squared scrape that we did. What we want to do now is we're going to come directly back behind it, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. So here we go. Here goes another 4-foot. Can we see that? Yes, we can. 4-foot square. I've got a little device coming tomorrow that's actually going to follow me around with the camera, so this is going to be a little bit easier for you guys and for me too. Okay, 4-foot square, just right there. Okay, can you all see that? Can you see what we did? So what this is doing, it's helping me keep track of where I'm going, which is so very important when you're doing this kind of thing. It's called, there's a term for it, it's called gridding. You want to do that either when you're detecting, when you're doing anything, because you can't imagine the kind of gold that people have left behind not doing that because they've just ran over the area twice and said, oh, no. Or they've just skipped over an area. Okay, anyway, let's go ahead and put the second sample into the pan. Hi from Ohio, fantastic trick shot. So cool. All right, guys, here we go. Now, only the first inch, because we gotta be careful. But you see already what we're getting out of this? Nice large cobbles, gravels, just sitting on the ground, on top of your ground, all that float stuff, you know, your quartz and stuff. That's what we want. Okay, all right. Adrenal, so cool. All right, John, not a problem, guys. You're doing right. I really do appreciate all you being here today. You're doing fantastic. So, first inch of material off that ground. You gotta make it safe for the horses. You gotta make it safe for people. And also, you can see how we're doing this. You see this here? This is gonna be nice and easy to pan. Whereas if we did giant chunks, like say that, I'm gonna have to break those up with my hand. That's why we scrape. Anyway. Okay, I've got to go to bed. Okay, cool. That's cool, guys. Not a problem. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate that. Okay, all right. Very cool. All right, so that's about an inch of the material off the top. We just scraped there. And what we want to do is we want to make sure when we do this pan, we try and fill it. Because the whole point of you sampling is to try and get a snapshot of the area. Think of it like, if we have any photographers here that are interested in videography or photography, you'll all know, my camera people, that if you have a camera with a super large sensor, it's going to be much better than having a camera with a tiny sensor. And the reason for that is, the more information that that sensor can see and compute into an image, you get a better picture of what's happening, and you get a bigger picture of what's happening in your area. So the bigger the pan, the bigger the result, the better the result, the more accurate the result. Same thing with a camera sensor. The bigger the sensor, the better. So oftentimes, it's just a rule that follows throughout anything you do. Oftentimes, the bigger the better. Okay, we're gonna fill this pan now. Think about like a one of those Hasselblad cameras, right, that they sell for like a $250,000. Who would pay for that for the camera? I don't know. But I know that they have awesome sensors in there and just incredible image. Yeah, so that's what we're doing. We're taking a snapshot of what's happening in this area. Okay, cool. Alrighty, get some sleep, very cool. There may be, so enjoy the thing. Okay, cool, you guys are doing good. You're talking to each other. And I don't have to work so hard. I do try to work hard for you guys, I really do. And you're all awesome. And I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and make sure you turn on the bell notifications, because oftentimes you might not get it whenever I come on here on a live or put out a video, and you might miss it. So, and I don't want to miss out on you guys either. So make sure you hit that bell. Thank you all so much. Okay. That's pretty good, not too bad. See how we've cleaned that up? We've got all that in the pan. Probably shouldn't have done that. Ruth Sweeney, hi from Idaho. Let's see the shiny gold. Michelle Mitchell. How much gold have you found in one day of doing that? In this right now? Well, in this today, I found actually 2 specks, which I wasn't planning on finding because this is nowhere near a creek. It's actually just up above a creek, but we're getting gold sitting on top of the property. So that's pretty freaking crazy. So thank you, but 2 specks today. All-time gold forever for about 10 years, probably 21 grams. So thanks for the question. Cool, very cool. All right, so let's go ahead and let's take this wonderful pan down to the creek and let's see what might be lurking in the pan now. We've gone a few steps that way. All right, here we go. As always, thank you guys so very much. You're awesome. Let's get this pan down the creek. We got kookaburras in the trees starting up. They're always awesome because they laugh at me no matter what. So I'm gonna put you guys back in the water so you can go for a swim on this very warm day here in sunny Australia. And welcome. Okay, now same thing. Make sure you get your pan down the water just like that. Let's go bring this further out there. And now begins the process of liquefaction. So get the pan right down the water. Make sure that the water can get in between all of the little molecules of dirt and clay and break up and liberate any gold particles that might be sitting in that dirt and clay. Very simple. So we're trying to liberate the gold by the process of liquefaction. And I apologize, guys, but the sun is so intense right now, I can't actually see the chat screen. I love talking to you all, but at the moment it's kind of impossible. So thank you so much. I do have Nervous Rider here today. She might be able to help explain some of these things to you guys. If she isn't here, that's okay too. But I'll keep talking and working while we go through this process. And I'll explain what I'm feeling with my hands as well. There's actually quite a lot of clay in this particular spot that I wasn't actually getting before in the first 4 feet of the scrape that I did before. But I'm also taking out of here and I'm remarking on what kind of material is coming out of this pan. We have here some nice quartz that looks kind of reddish, and it's quite heavy. All this stuff is suspect for gold because it's coming out of the float. So I want to put it to the side and just basically churn up this material just like this, like I'm doing. Try and make sure that everything can get liberated and fall to the bottom. All the heavy stuff falls to the bottom. So liquefaction, stratification, so essential to panning. Okay. Now we're going to classify, because I have the classifier sitting on top, making sure the pan is directly in the water, just like so. Okay. Now again, I'm getting a similar result with this pan. I'm getting now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, nearly 20 pieces of quartz that's come off the float on top of the hill. That's pretty cool. And by the looks of it, looking at this quartz, it looks very interesting. There's a lot of contact zones in there, conglomerates, things like that. It's not just clear quartz. I'm getting some pretty funky looking quartz there. Now, that's not always an indicator that there is going to be gold in that quartz. Oftentimes it can be the dirtiest pieces that have absolutely nothing. A lot of that's just like either magnetite or whatever else. And it just doesn't carry any gold or any promise of any gold. But it's all suspect for gold because, you know, even getting pieces like that, where there's like iron oxides and things like that streaking through, there could be small gold in that. So it's all suspect. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it over here. Okay, that's sitting over there now. All right, it was over here. Now it's over there now. Okay, alrighty. So now, this clay and stuff that's in the pan here, I'm going to take and I'm going to churn it up with my hands. Because clay is our enemy. It's our friend and it's also our enemy. It's a frenemy. So why is that? Clay can actually have gold stick to it, which is a good thing, but it can also carry gold out of your pan, which is a terrible thing. So it's a situation with clay that gold is both your friend and also your enemy. So you have to treat it very carefully. Okay, now I'm going to grind this up. I'm going to liquefy the clay to liberate the gold. And now we're going to stratify, which is basically, like I said before, it's the swapping of heavy materials that fall to the bottom, light materials that rise to the top to be ejected. Gold is 19 times heavier than water. So what we want to do, we want to make sure that that process is as accurate as possible. All right, now we're going to eject the material, so we're going to classify now. Just a little bit off the tip there, bringing it back in. And here's actually the stage where I really want to pay close attention to what is happening in the pan. Because if I'm seeing gold coming out of the corners of the pan, I want to stop. And I want to take a look and see what's happening. And maybe I need to adjust the way that I'm working with the pan. Maybe I need to adjust the way that the pan is interacting dynamically with the flow, and maybe work a little bit carefully. But I'm going to have a look now in just a second about here. When you look at the corners, look at the back here, look on the sides, and I'm seeing the tiniest little speck of gold just sitting up right up there, but I'm going to keep going. Okay, bringing it back here. All right. Working with one hand now because it's light enough to work with one hand, but looking into the pan. Okay, very important. I'm going to give it a tap. Somebody told me the other day I wasn't tapping as much as I should be, so we're going to tap, tap, tap. And now we're going to do this reveal. So I'm going to get some clean water just over there. Let's see what we have here, if anything. And we have yet another piece of gold. Okay, we actually, is that one or two? Okay, we have one stick of gold. And I'm going to show you that. I'm going to turn the camera around very quickly. Where'd you go? You're sitting there. All right. Don't move. Don't move. Okay. I apologize. I don't want to drop my camera. Okay. All right. Okay. We have one beautiful little speck of gold sitting right here that has come out of the float. Yet again, it is sitting on top of our property. I'm going to pick that up with my finger, which is something you should never do, but I'm going to do it anyway. So I want to show you guys what I mean by looking at what the gold is telling you. This seems to be very stringy type of gold, right? It's kind of stringy. I'm not sure exactly what that tells me, but I know this is certainly not water-worn. It is coming directly out of the float, and this tells me that there is probably a shit ton, and pardon my language, but there is probably a lot sitting up on just on the surface of our property where I had no idea it was actually going to be. I suspected for years, but I didn't actually test it until now. So this is a great day for me. This is actually one of the most best days of my life being here, because if this is sitting just where it is, it makes sense. We are sitting at the bottom of a hill that is gold bearing, and I cannot believe this is actually happening. This is pretty crazy. But that is probably the most beautiful little piece, and it's actually, I think it's comparable to the size that we got in the last pan. But yeah, so Nervous Rider, what do you think at this stage? We've just gotten that little bit of gold just off the top there. It's just floating. Oh yes, thank you so much, guys. I hope this is his finger, BS says. I'm pretty sure it's my finger, BS. Okay. Yeah, Michelle Mitchell. Okay, very cool. Very cool, guys. So I wasn't expecting that. But what this has done for me now is it's now confirmed what I suspected for a number of years now. There is gold sitting on just the float stuff up there that's coming off of the quartz. It looks like this. But it's also that the quartz itself is suspect for the shiny stuff. And my hope is too that this video is going to reach anybody that might be thinking and might be suspecting that they might have gold sitting up on their property. I'm not going to guarantee that there is going to be, but if you do have a situation where you're living, where you have just little bits of quartz like this, just randomly sitting in your dirt like that, you want to be checking that stuff. And you're probably not going to find much with a detector. You're going to be actually probably doing much better, and I can guarantee you're going to be doing much better if you simply use your humble pan, which is your absolute best detector ever. Does this give me hope that there possibly could be a nugget sitting on the property? It certainly does. However, thorough testing needs to be taking place, and I'm actually now more excited than ever to actually get the detector out and just have a quick look. But wow, okay, so that little bit has just come from these two little scrapes, and you see how we're working in this kind of like gridded type fashion. For those of you who just actually tuned in, that's really important, because now I can say that this one here came up with two specks that were just sitting on the surface. This one came up with also two specks. I think there's another one in the pan, but most importantly, this one. So on average, for a area that's about basically 4 feet squared, we're getting about 4 specks. That's pretty crazy. Interesting that they were so close to the same period, so far away. It is interesting, and the cool thing is that as we go along, I don't know if it's going to get better going this way or if it's going to get better going that way. I would suspect that the process of like gigantic floods coming through the area and things over thousands, tens of thousands of years, people say millions of years, but I think it's actually tens of thousands really, realistically. Tens of thousands, 20,000s, that gold might just be sinking down, way down into the earth. And there might not be much on the actual top. So I'm hoping actually it is a better yield than the creek. I think it would be. And if we're actively getting it floating off the property down into the creek, Nervous Rider, I think that's a pretty monumentous thing. And I could basically surface all this off here and basically be getting gold. So that's pretty darn impressive. Okay, hey everybody, hey, awesome. Marty, this is so cool. Hi, Cod. Guys, you've been fantastic today. I might try and do one more pan, but I don't want to bore you guys. Like, do you, you know what I might even do? I'll tell you what, I've never done this before, but I would actually like to start a poll. Do you guys mind if I start a poll right now? And could you just have a quick look and just see what you think? I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'm going to go ahead and start a poll and ask you guys, or I'm going to put out a questionnaire. So Q&A. And I'm going to title this, what would you guys, what would you all like to see more of? And just, you guys can answer that truthfully. You can give me off the wall answers you want. You can be crazy, you can be zany. I don't mind, but I'm just going to put that out there. And let's go ahead and hit done. Start the Q&A. And let's see what kind of answers I get. Thank you guys so much. Okay, so I've just put that out there. And okay, you want to see panning. Bobby Joe wants to see panning. Okay, I'm definitely taking that into account. Want to see more panning. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to try and just put this little speck into this soft bottle. Just going to try to immaculately put it in there. Okay, all right. It should now be in the snuffer bottle. Okay, cool. Okay, panning and metal detecting. Michelle Mitchell. Yeah, you want to see some metal detecting? Well, I'll tell you what. I do have a metal detector that is available to me to use. So I might actually, in the next couple of streams, you might get to see me doing some detecting. I'm not particularly great at it, but I think this is probably a really good opportunity to break out the metal detector and see what happens. So thank you. Okay, panning and dry pan demo. Yes, dry panning as well. Old grumpy guy, you like the trommel? Yep, yep, very cool. Some people say trumble, some people say trommel. Panning would be great to see. Everybody likes to see the panning, trommel, quite cool. Love seeing you do just what you're doing. Looking for that gold. Yeah, panning, trommel, whatever. Thank you guys. Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much, Ruth. And yes, very cool. So John, okay, cool. Any and all things gold retrieval. Me, myself, and I, hi. So everything is cool, learning for you, all the little details. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I do try. Your new sub, you'll be back and watching. Okay, cool. Jim, excellent. Do you have opals on your property? That's a good question, Jim. I actually don't know. I don't know. I would actually think that there would be. I have never seen one, so I don't really even know what I'm looking for. You might actually be able to help me pick one out. Okay, very cool, guys. So let's pop back on the tripod here, and we're gonna do one more test pan, and we're gonna see what we get just out of the float that's sitting on top of the property. And guys, I'm very pleasantly surprised today. I did not expect this to. All right. Okay, guys. So let's head back up the hill. I'm gonna grab the pan, but I also very carefully I want to stick this float that's come off the not the bank, but on the hill. I just want to stick it right there, so later on I can break up those quartz and I can see what exactly might be coming out of it. Okay, so I'm gonna go over here, grab my pan because it's ran away from me. Nice and clean. This is ready too. All right, let's head back up here. And I don't know why, for the longest time, something has been at me about coming up here and doing just what I'm doing today. But today I said enough is enough. My curiosity has gotten the better of me, and I need to be checking it. So I'm glad that I did. We have in the snuffer bottle. That should be real fun. Awesome. I'm glad we had a great group today and not a lot of trolls. That's right. And guys, I don't mind you guys making a joke. Sometimes I make jokes as well. But let's just try to keep it family friendly and nobody gets picked on. Everybody learns. I learn from you most importantly. Okay. All right, so let's do this again. Let's do another little bit here. Okay, let's try and bring you a little bit closer. Sometimes it can be difficult to see. All right, so we're here. Where are we at? I can't see from this thing here. How do I move that around? I moved it up there now. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's take off the backpack. All right, I'm gonna scrape it off. And there is just so much quartz in this, it's unbelievable. It's literally all over the ground. Okay. Let's quickly see if we can. Okay, some people can be right rude, that's right, absolutely. Yeah, I just put that little piece of gold in the bottle. So we're gonna go ahead and check this out here. Let's get all this in here. And this one's slightly heftier, this pan, so. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and grab it. Take the camera too at the same time. This is a bit difficult to do. Bear with me. It's probably a little bit too much in the pan. Okay, that's all right. I can do this. All right, here we go. Thank you all so much. We have Speedy Joe. Finding gold in the topsoil, I surely am. I didn't even realize I was going to be doing that, but it's freaking crazy. Okay, all right, Michelle Wayne we have now. Okay, cool, all right. Very cool, let's go. I'm real excited, people. I really am. Okay. Let's put you over here. Okay. All right. Now, if the frog will be quiet for a minute, I don't mind if the frog talks, but just talk quietly, frog, please. Okay. It's the same thing. We want to be able to liquefaction, get all that stuff nice and worked down. We might be losing a little bit off the top, but not losing much. See, we got all this beautiful quartz in the pan. This is all the float stuff I'm talking about, so just want to keep that in for there for the time being. Work it down just like that. Try and get right in the middle of the frame here. And you've got to work it in. See how dry that is in the middle? How dry that is? We've got to make sure all this gets liquefied. Liquefaction, so important. Get that material wet. Get the molecular process to start. Liberating the gold. Getting the heavy stuff to fall to the bottom. Working it down as much as you can. I apologize again, I can't see the chat right now, but I will read it in just a moment. I appreciate you all being here, being fantastic. Make sure we get all those rocks really clean. Now we're stratifying. So basically we're letting the exchange happen. So the heavy stuff falls to the bottom of the pan. The light stuff rises to the top. So it's a swap. It's a change. Heavy to the bottom, light to the top. Okay. Same as the last two pans that we did. I'm looking what the ratio is between the gravels and the quartz. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 8 pieces of quartz in this pan. A little bit less than the last one, but we're still getting things like little bit broken up bits of bedrock. We're getting this really crazy looking quartz here. It's like very, very heavily mineralized. All that is suspect. I'm going to put it over here. Suspect for gold. Okay. Liquefaction, breaking up the clays I'm doing now. Grinding it up with my hands. Because you won't get very far if you don't do that. You got to break up those clays. You got to start the process of liquefaction on a molecular level to liberate as much gold as you possibly can. Sometimes you can get super fine gold in there, but you won't know unless you work it. Break it up, break it up. Okay, just like that. Now, we have to stratify because we brought some heavy stuff to the top. How do we do that? Well, agitate the pan under the water. Keep the pan always under the water, just like this. Elliptical movements, just like I'm doing. Like a washing machine. Okay, now that the exchange has happened, the lighter material is on top, the heavy stuff is at the bottom. We're now going to classify, we're going to eject some. Tilting the pan at a 45-degree angle just like so, dipping off the tip, nothing at the back. Pan under the water. This is one of the worst things because it's hard, because it's harder to push under the water. It's easier to take it up out of here, but if you take it up out of here and you do that, you can lose gold. So be careful. Okay. Thank you all so much for being here with me today. And if you wouldn't mind, if you like what you see, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon because I'll be putting out some videos pretty soon about this kind of stuff. And I really want you guys to be able to learn, but I want to hear from you guys too. I want to be able to learn from you too. So, but if you don't turn on that notification bell, you might miss it. So just be sure and click that bell for me. Thank you so much. Okay. Now I'm going to look in that pan now, very carefully. I'm not seeing anything interesting on the sides there. My knees are killing me, my feet are killing me. I'm just gonna lift up here for a second, okay. All right, now we can start working with one hand. Pretty cool. Dipping off the top there. We gotta repeat this process because remember, we want all that heavy stuff to be trapped at the very bottom, right on the first riffle. So important to keep that pan right under the water. Lifting, dipping, lifting, and only the tip of that material comes off. At this stage, you want to smack it just like that. And thank you guys so much for answering that poll. I really appreciate it. I think that's going to do me a lot of good. I can look back later and find out what you guys really want, you know. For those of you who have actually just tuned into, I run a gold trommel, so that's another cool thing. But maybe we can work with that, so. Okay, cool. So let's see what comes out of this one. If anything. I can't guarantee there's going to be any gold, but I'm hoping there will be. so far I've gotten pretty lucky. Okay, and there is still another little piece of gold in there. Okay, it's sitting right here. I'm going to take the camera and turn it around. Give me a second. God, okay. Damn it, tail. Oh, okay. Flip me around. Okay. All right. So this is actually still blowing my mind. There is another smallest little piece just right here, coming off of the float. We are just right there. I'm going to pinch zoom in. Just absolutely beautiful. And I'm going to attempt to pick it up with my fingers again. Just right there. See if I can pick it up with my finger. Have I got it? Yes, I do. Okay. So, some people say 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Well, 3 out of 3 is pretty darn incredible. That gives me a ton of hope, everybody. That really gives me a whole lot of hope. That is a nice little tiny piece of gold. What does it look like? It's very kind of stringy, kind of wrapped up. It almost even looks like, it looks like a number. It looks like a 6 or something. I wish this camera was a little bit steadier, but it's the most smallest little piece. I can't even call it a flake, but it's like a piece of gold. Looks like a 6 or a 9. Maybe if 6 was 9. Okay. You want to know what would happen if I would go deeper? That is a good question, Ruth. Okay, cool. And I know that some other people have answered some more questions or actually asked some more questions on here. I'll have to go back through the chat very quickly. Thank you guys so much. We have Kimberly Neblit. Hi. Very cool, very cool. Khalid Sali. Okay, very cool. You're going to pan your horse's poo? I'll bet it has some gold traces in it as they graze over all the time. Actually, you're not wrong. You're not wrong about that. They could be. They could actually be eating freaking gold off the ground, and we wouldn't even know it. It could be coming out of the dust that actually flows through the air. We might have to willow, what's called winnowing or willowing. So basically, we might actually have to get a sheet and put the dust in it and willow the gold out that way, because that's what they used to do way back in the day, out in basically Arizona, the Wild West and things like that. That's how they used to find a lot of gold. They would take a sheet and they would throw the air up in the sheet into the wind, and the lighter dust would fall off that way and the gold would be trapped in the sheet. So they found a lot of gold doing that way, and they were able to prospect that way too. Very cool. So we might try that one day. I don't know. Could it work? Who knows? So, all right, so liked very much. Oh, very guys, you go. My moderators are doing so fantastic. You guys are doing excellent. So cool. Chris says, looks like a middle finger. He's digging the paddock. Yes, the paddock. Sorry. Yep. Very cool. All right, guys. So yeah, there is indeed, and you know, it's this is one of those times I rarely get a chance to say I was right about these predictions, but I'm right. I'm actually right. Yep, it's good for flower gold. It surely is, John. Thank you so much. You're in Arizona. Dark Chris, very cool. There's a lot of gold in Arizona, but I'm kind of beside myself. So Ruth says, you don't understand. 82 likes. Thank you so much, old grumpy guy. Really appreciate that. So you don't understand. What do you mean? Like, also new paddock? No. Basically, Nervous Rider was talking about possibly the horses might be ingesting some gold out of the ground because they eat a lot of the dirt and the dust that sits on the top. So, in fact, they could actually have gold dust in their poo. So that might be a thing to do. Yeah. So, guys, I really appreciate you all being here. I don't know how much further I can take this stream today. I'm going to try and put this little piece of gold, actually I'll put this back in the pan for now, but this has finally today answered an age-old question for me that's actually been going on for about probably nearly a decade. And the question being, is there gold sitting on the top of the paddock, or just on the topsoil on the paddock? And now I finally answered said question. What does this mean for me? What does this mean for the future of this channel? Well, what it means is I want to be looking for anything that comes directly. I don't know if you guys can see that hill behind me very carefully, very quickly. I want to be seeing if there are any little tributaries coming down through the property that might actually just have been blocked off for years and years and years, that I might possibly be able to uncover that would have even more gold. Because while there's going to be gold now, I'm now convinced that there's gold sitting up there. Any little ditches or anything that come through, or any little parts where things can be trapped, like, you know, say for instance, around that tree there's a tree over here. I can dig and I can scrape along that. Anything that is going to block the flow, if there's a gigantic flood coming through here historically, it's going to get trapped just in behind those little parts. So I need to go and get my charger, but we'll just quickly do a recap before we let you guys go. And I want to quickly read some comments too. Better pan that manure, very good. Or the horses will break, yeah. I want to just make sure everything's very safe and there's no problems. Okay, yeah, very cool, very cool. All right, guys, so I'm gonna hook up my battery again so I don't lose my phone. And I just want to appreciate the fact that everyone has come in here wanting to learn today, and you guys have all taught me as well. You know, it's not just me teaching you guys. I learned a hell of a lot from you all too. So you guys have been consistently good the entire time, and I really appreciate you all being here. I really do. It'd be neat if I found some gold and some pay dirt. Thank you. I'm really hoping for that. But yeah, so out of this spot here, we got a total of what, 2, 4, possibly 6 little specks out of a 4-foot square, basically. We're basically playing gold 4 square. So 1, 2, hopscotch with the freaking gold. Pretty cool. I'm not very good at dancing, as you will soon find out. Okay, but what I want to do, this is the really exciting thing. So I want to come along here. Any obstructions, like any trees, anything that has been here for 100 years or over 100 years, anything with like little bits of clay coming up out of there. I thought that was exposed bedrock, but it's not. Anything now is actually suspect for this stuff. So any objects that have been sitting here for a long time, like say that thing over there, or even this thing over here, the flow of water can sometimes come off that hill. And if it's pushing like it's pushing, it's got to be pushing some pretty good stuff out here. So what I might do in another stream is I'm going to take that gold pan that I've got, and I'm just going to throw it in a random spot out here, and we're going to test pan that one day and see what comes out of it. But that hill up there it's got to be pushing some pretty good stuff down. Thank you so much. Thank you. And Old Grumpy Guy, I really appreciate that, and you've been extraordinary help for this channel and in the chat. And Nervous Rider, Cod Fishing 180, and we've got some other moderators here. We've got me, myself, and I. You guys have been fantastic. We have also Name Redacted that comes on, and it's tremendous help. Also Nomadic God King. He's not here with us today, but he'll probably be back on soon. But guys, look at this. I mean, having a look, this stuff looks pretty interesting to me. And if it's in there, I want to get it out of there, but I want to do it in a safe way to where there's not going to be a problem. But anyway, you guys, I really appreciate you being here, and I've had a terrific day. I hope you guys have had a good day, and any questions that you have, feel free to leave it in a comment, or go on to any of the other videos that I've got and just leave a comment, and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. And I really appreciate you all being here. And guys, please just make sure anybody who's subscribed now, make sure you hit that notification bell, because if you don't, sometimes you might not know when I'm coming on, and you might miss a stream. I might miss out on getting to talk to you guys as well. So I appreciate having you all here today, and I'm going to say goodbye for now, and I hope you all have a beautiful evening. And yeah, hopefully this is going to be the start of yet another thing that I can do with this channel, with the gold, and I can learn something, and you guys can learn along with me and teach me. So, all right, thank you guys so very much. I appreciate it, and you all get some sleep, and I'll see you in the next one. If not tomorrow, I'll see you the next day, or maybe the next day after that. Do I have the means to crush quartz? I did, but I basically had to sell that machine because the machine was pretty dangerous. What it was doing was it was crushing the quartz really quickly, but the problem is it made a lot of dust in the air. I tried to minimize that, and it got to the point where I was just so anxious about the whole thing, I just kind of gave up, and I said, look, this is not for me. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and probably get like a dolly pot or something like that and just smash it up that way and see what's in it. But yeah, good idea. You know, it's a good way to crush quartz. But this machine just made so much dust. Anyway, yeah, and you guys have a wonderful night. And look, I'm going to leave it at that, and I'll see you all in the next one. And thank you all so much, very much for being here. I appreciate you, and I mean that. You guys make it so much better for me, being out here doing this stuff, and getting to talk to you guys and learning. And thank you all. Have a beautiful night. Have a blessed day and blessed weekend. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now. Thank you.